It feels good, it really feels good to know that this is another opportunity to take a swing at life. A brand new day, a brand new focus with new perspectives.
Top of the morning. Welcome. It's another exciting show, Wake Up Nigeria. Of course, that's today, who is definitely going to be on the show with Daily Vulnerables. That's how we're going to kick the show off. We just had to let you know. Of course, there's a lot that we have in store for you today. Just remember, follow all health guidelines and, of course, the curfew as we join this fight against the virus. Now, we advise that you remain indoors if you don't have to go out. And if you do have to go out with your face mask, wash your hands. It's very important. I'm Mike Mesikeno.
And I'm Titi Layo Oyinson. Please remember something. We're streaming this show live on tvcentertainment.tv so you do not miss a thing.
Of course, to interact with us, send your comments. Use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC.
Yes, all social media platforms can use that hashtag. And then, of course, as long as you have our app that's available for you to download from the Android or iOS stores, you can watch the show from your mobile devices. Okay,
let's get straight. We are sorry for kicking off a bit late. It was due to a number of circumstances, but hey, come on, we are here with you to make this morning a wonderful one. Like we mentioned, today will kick us off. Daily Vulnerables, that's some inspiration for some people.
Very important stuff he talks about every day.
Of course, if you love good food, Chronicles of a Foodie is back. I don't know where Titi is going this morning, but hey, you would want to tune in and watch this one. Dr. Dibia Edward Nze is the Chief Dental Officer at Deseret International Hospital. He'll be talking to us how to properly take care of your braces.
Especially during the lockdown that most dentists have been closed. You know, they work in the mouth, so it's hard for them because of the coronavirus. So you have to take care of your braces yourself right now. Ademola Adedoyin is a talented actor, model, and much more. He'll be joining us for a chat. And it's about time for me to take the news updates right now. And it starts like this. In outright disregard of President Muhammadu Buhari that those on essential duties are free to move, some overzealous police officers have mounted roadblocks around Lagos and started impounding vehicles. A police officer who led the team in Alausa said she was acting on strict orders from above. Health workers and journalists with identification cards were all detained and their cars impounded by the officers. This story is the same across the state as health workers have called TVC News to confirm if directives by the president have changed. On the day he announced the curfew, President Buhari exempted the essential service.
An overnight curfew from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. This means all movements will be prohibited during this period, except for essential services.
The Presidential Task Force on Covid-19 earlier thanked health workers and the media who are frontline workers in the battle against coronavirus. TVC News crime correspondent Ivy Kanu is presently at the Alausa police station, and the management is trying to reach the government officials for clarity.
I have nothing to say now. Because of this total lockdown, what do you want to say, sir? I don't have anything to say. I can't go.
The Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of the zone says as the ban on interstate continues, his men will ensure the directives by the president are carried out to the letter. Reacting to complain of reckless driving by some drivers, especially as they approach some land borders, the police boss says Nigerians must realize that the lives of security personnel are important as they carry out their statutory duties. He stressed that it's important that motorists are cautious and slow down as they approach road checkpoints where his men are stationed, especially during this period of interstate travel ban.
Of this nation to deal with that person or group, whoever is doing that, or individual.
Last week, the Minister of Health told reporters not to question him anymore. over the whereabouts of the Chinese that came into Nigeria last month. Nigerians have been asking questions about their whereabouts. Today, that question was answered by the Minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbesola, during the Presidential Task Force briefing on COVID-19 in Abuja.
They came in, 15 of them came in on the 8th of April. They came on a 30-day visa issued in Beijing. They are still here. And I know I need to tell you why they are here. They are still here, not because they've not completed their job, but because there is a restriction on travels in Nigeria occasioned by the protocol of COVID-19. I think that answers the question. I thank you.
The World Health Organization has agreed to hold an inquiry into the global response to the coronavirus pandemic. Approved without objection by the WHO's 194 member assembly, the resolution also allows for an independent inquiry into the body's role before and during the pandemic. The resolution did not single out any individual country, but a number of nations, including the US, have accused Beijing of withholding information about the virus, which was first detected in the central Chinese city of Wuhan in late 2019. Well, Chinese President Xi Jinping yesterday says he supports calls for an investigation into the handling of the pandemic, but insists that any inquiry should wait until the virus is contained.
WHO remains fully committed to transparency, accountability, and continuous improvement. We want accountability more than anyone. And I thank Dr. Felicity Harvey and the members of the Independent Oversight Advisory Committee for their continuous work to review WHO's work in health emergencies, and in particular for their report on the COVID-19 response published yesterday that covers from the start of the outbreak until the start of the pandemic until April. So checking and learning our lessons is in WHO's DNA, and that's what this report shows. And I hope the recommendations of the independent committee will be taken seriously by our member states.
Several people have been tried and convicted for flouting the lockdown order in Kaduna State. The violators admit their guilt, but say staying at home has become tiring. Correspondent Tezim Akinde reports.
Security personnel on the streets of Kaduna enforcing the lockdown order in the state. Those on essential services are given rights of way. But those who are not supposed to be on the roads are told to pull over. They are subsequently marched to mobile courts set up by the government. Legal officials, armed with the lockdown guidelines, then try them. And those found guilty are charged accordingly. The fines come in different forms. Those below 18 years, like this teenager, aren't given a monetary fine. He is told to go after receiving some lashes of the cane.
The law prohibited somebody being sentenced when he's below the age of 18. So the only thing the judge could do was to make sure he flog him and allow him to go back home by warning him, so that if he go home, people of his age will know that such punishment are being tendered to people of their own age.
These ones are of age and are sentenced to community service. Their work area is the stadium and roundabout. They are charged to weed and make the environment clean. These violators of the order tell me it's not been easy staying at home. They say even feeding for some has been a challenge.
I've stayed home for 2 months, going to 3 months now. And if I not go outside, I cannot see food and eat. So I was going to work now, so they blocked me.
You're going to look for work and do?
Yeah, I'm going to look for work and do.
This mobile court is just one out of several across the state. The officials pledge to remain committed to duty as much as possible. Enforcing the lockdown order, according to authorities here, will continue until the war against COVID-19 is won. But some residents here think the measures taken are too hard to bear. The authorities insist all that is being done is in the interest of all, and so it will continue on this path. Tessem Akende, TVC News, Kaduna.
And that's all we have time for on the news for now. Welcome back. Now we're switching things up today, taking the papers in the kitchen.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Okay, let's kick off from. Okay, you have the punch there.
I have the punch. Yes, I have the punch with me here, and it says many top Nigerians dying due to COVID-19 home care, according to the federal government. It also says here, don't use drugs without doctors' prescriptions. Council's minister. Nigeria didn't pay for Madagascar's coronavirus drug, says PTF. Reps tackle health minister over explanation on Chinese doctors. Right at the top of the page here, it says no forex for goods with local substitutes, according to Emefiele. On the curfew, against Buhari's directive, IG bars journalists, doctors, others. Police directive can't supersede president's order, says NMA. Meanwhile, 50 medical workers, pressmen, others arrested in Lagos. Senate demands immediate reversal of power privatization. Page 28 has more on that. And under the photo story here, it says customs intercept 13 million naira worth of bales of clothes on NRC train. All right, and that's where I'll stop on the cover of the Punch.
I'll look at the Daily Sun. Here we have this. Security agencies get tougher on interstate travel ban to arrest violators 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew. Now that's the rider underneath that particular headline. And there's a picture story here of Nigeria Air Force Special Force personnel deployed to Plateau State. And yeah. So, and then right there, medical official applying hand sanitizer on those Air Force personnel. Okay. Fresh probe in power sector. That's a jump line that takes you to page 6. Says Senate queries trillions invested in electricity and wants planned tariff increase suspended. Trump gives WHO 30-day deadline over COVID-19. Reps task federal government on quick local production of vaccines. Private lab begins testing in Anambra. That jump line takes you to page 6. Delta to establish own security outfit. And top right corner of the paper here, ASATU Asatu spits fire over migration from north to southeast. Rise up and defend your zone. Religious leaders charge Southeast governors. All of that on the front page of the Daily Sun.
I also have the Guardian newspaper here, and it says how churches, mosques, schools should plan reopening by government. PDP reps knock government over secrecy on Chinese doctors. Now, the story starts there on the cover and wraps up on page 6. Reps canvass speedy production of local vaccines, probe research on COVID-19. And it says here, Al-Majirai have no business in Southeast, says Macban. 19 more workers test positive for COVID-19 in Ibadan company. And at the bottom of the page here, it says, Senate asks federal government to suspend electricity tariff increase. Wants power sector privatization reversed, seeks expansion of move against bandits, others. Urges completion of Ajaokuta steel projects. Lawmakers amend local content law and plan agency to boost food security. That's what we have on the cover of The Guardian.
And then to the Vanguard. Cancel power privatization now. Senate tells the federal government we won't have power in 10 years.
Goodness
Senate
me.
President tasks power committee to probe all FG interventions. Don't upset investors, stakeholders warn. Lagos records 131 new cases as confirmed cases rise to 6,401. And this is a very, very reassuring story here. The picture story, 22-year-old COVID-19 patients delivered of twins. The caption there says, a set of twins delivered by a 22-year-old COVID-19 patient yesterday at the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, Luth. The mother is seen here with a team of experts at the hospital yesterday.
Congratulations.
Reassuring, yeah. COVID-19, we won't reopen economy fully until, that's from the federal government. Research ongoing on 5 drugs in Nigeria says fatalities increasing due to self-medication. Say 6 NAS support for national response. Chinese medical team still in Nigeria, that's federal government. Madagascar syrup given to Nigeria free. So there's been a lot back and forth about that syrup and its price and all of that, but it says here that it's free. FG begins fumigation of Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt Airport. Herdsmen invade farms in Delta, chase out farmers. Okay, and on the lighter note here, Mr. and Mrs. Come on, show some respect. This is the 3rd week in the kitchen. Just because I volunteer to cook doesn't give you the right to make me permanent chef. That's from Mr. And Mrs. retorts. When you are afraid to go to the barber shop because of COVID-19, I took the blade and gave you a clean shave. Did I complain? Whatever is good for the goose is good for the gander. All of that and a little bit more on the front page of the Vanguard.
All right, so some very interesting stories here. Now, one of the key ones here on how churches, mosques, schools should plan reopening. I like the way they put it there, plan reopening.
Oh, good, yeah.
Because it's going to take a lot to, first of all, make sure that these places are at a high standard of sanitation.
Okay.
And, of course, that parents can trust that when they take their kids to these schools, the kids are in safe hands, you know?
Not all parents would even get their kids to go even when it starts.
Yeah.
Because that'll also be dependent on the parent that says, look, man, I don't want my kid to be a testing or, you know, to use the kid and find out if it's going to be okay. Be a guinea pig,
basically.
So
yeah.
But I would say that, yes, it should be done gradually, and maybe we should embrace virtual learning for the whole of the 3rd term. Probably.
I actually...
It's going to be hard because I know there are some schools that are finding some very interesting ways around it. I know there's some schools that do WhatsApp lectures.
Yes.
So maybe because, okay, the students in these schools, maybe let's say their parents might not be able to afford internet connection across a whole day. I mean, you're talking about, let's say at the minimum, say 1 gig, 2 gig a day, if you have 1 or 2 kids, 3 kids. So I know that what they do is that maybe they get videos via WhatsApp, and then the parents have to be there with them. They interact via WhatsApp. They find ways to go around it. I think that should go on for the whole of maybe the 3rd term.
Yeah, what some of the other schools have been doing is they basically created, or they purchased platforms that are specially for educators. Now, obviously, the schools have to buy into this. So the schools have actually made an investment in online learning already. So them pulling away from that means that they're going to have used a lot of their revenue for the next 3 months on that platform already. So some of those platforms allow teachers to send, information, videos, text assignments on those platforms. And I guess the teachers, too, will be worried about some child coming to the classroom and, infecting them. Because teachers are so hands-on, especially the really good ones. So it's hard to think about how they're going to plan that. And then for the religious organizations, you know how when your pastor says, look at the person next to you and give the person a high five, and welcome the person to church. There's just something about that energy that we might not feel.
Give yourself high five yourself.
If you're having so much space between you. So there's something about that congregation, that energy.
Amongst the clergy, there's been a lot of people on both sides of the divide. Some people come up with COVID-19 isn't real. Look, we as what we do as our job, we stand against such theories. It is real. Please take care. So, and listen to, if you want to fix your car, you will not call a doctor. If you want to fix plumbing, you will not call a carpenter. If you want to listen, I mean, if let's get a group of doctors and they come together and they are well, you can vouch for them and they say it is not real, that's when you should listen. At the same time, you know, still on that one, yesterday we put it out in the news also, journalists, doctors and other essential workers suffer as police disregard exemption. Now this is from the Vanguard, and we had a crime correspondent who was also held back at all of that. Now, we had to play that clip from the president. It was never at any point in time around the world. Essential workers are allowed, I mean, to move around.
Yes.
You definitely have to have some level of movement from journalists, doctors, most especially, of course, I would want to say doctors first in maybe a scale of preference.
Health workers.
You know,
Health workers.
Health workers, yes. Thank you. Health workers, not just doctors. But, you know, so I feel that by today we should have some form of clarity because this is the IGP who is going against what the president said.
Yeah.
So we should have some form of clarity. Journalists and I mean, we had people.
We should understand what exactly happened. You know, where the miscommunication was.
There was no miscommunication. The president said something and they decided to go against what the president said. There was no miscommunication. The president said essential workers are allowed to do what they want to do, and they said no, that the curfew is for that everybody, that nobody's exempt from the curfew, which is not supposed to be the case. So it was not a case of miscommunication. It was a case of not following directives as they should be and being a little bit overzealous, maybe a little bit overzealous. So let's hope that by today we can clarify that and the essential workers are allowed to do what they have to do.
I think it's a great time to give a big shout out to all the journalists out there. Now, to put these newspapers together, to put broadcasts together, to put Wake Up Nigeria together is so much work, and the journalists and media crew that are involved in getting this done, they have been literally going out onto the roads that everybody else is afraid of just to make sure that you at home get all this information. So a big shout out to all the journalists and media personnel out there, the people, the camera operators, the production teams. All of them are working extra hard to make sure that the right information gets to you at the right time. Imagine how early someone had to, make sure that this paper was on the road so that it could get to us on time.
In fact, from the release here, it says that that the CP he actually said that he had orders from Abuja that nobody was exempt, and a lot of staff that had to, on their way back last night, had to sleep on the road. Some of them had to get to the police station and all of that, and all their pleas fell on deaf ears. Let's hope that we can sort this out, and by today, I don't want to go back home.
Well,
all right, okay, so, but hey, come on, that's it with what's up and about. We'll take a short recess. There's still more to come. Of course, your birthdays, we have to celebrate in spite of all of that. We'll be back after this.
Yes, we do.
Traditions are good. It's good to do mass in a certain way, to pray a particular amount of times a day. Traditions are good, rituals are good. They help you create automatic habits. They help you remember to do the things that are important to you. It's also good to ground yourself in a series of practices. You cannot just be a human being floating around the world. It's good to have a rhythm to your life, to be able to say, I pray every morning for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, or to say, I go with my wife to a dinner every Saturday for an hour. Rituals are good. Rhythms are good. Cadences are good. The problem is when you make them into a cage. Man wasn't made for the law. The law was made for man. Processes were not made for processes. Processes were made for us. And so as soon as you realize that prayer ritual, that family process, that company cadence, those rules and regulations, those rituals and practices, those symbols and cadences, the moment you realize that they are no longer working for you, for your company, for your family, for your organization, it is time to change them. Build new routines, build new rhythms, build new rituals. You must always remember that you created them to help you live a better life. Whenever they start stopping you from living a better life, it is time for you to change them. You always have the right to change your mind.
Now, an exciting 1 hour just went by just like that. And we're about to embark on the next 1 hour, 45 minutes with special energy figure.
Now, it's the second lap of the show, and there's still a whole lot more in store for you. So just sit back, sit tight, relax.
Yes,
We've
sir.
got a lot more coming your way.
So grab, a hot beverage like I have.
Or cold, yeah?
No, not at this time of the morning.
It
It
should
was
be hot.
actually quite chilly this morning.
But some,
wasn't it?
it depends. So let's look at you. Some people, they need the cold thing because the heat from the night
Well, you
might
have a
have
point.
been.
You have a
So
point.
whichever way, hot or cold, there's loads of fun and entertainment here
Yes,
for you.
sir.
Now, of course, you still have to be socially responsible. And of course, take extreme caution. Hygiene should
Yes,
be
sir.
very important, shouldn't be compromised. And
very important.
You ensure that also
Very
the curfew now is serious. Where even
hey.
essential workers.
They said by
as-
8 p.m., Third Mainland was locked.
So you have to
Like,
ensure what
wow.
happens is that by 4, 5, ensure that you round up with whatever you're doing and you leave for home so that you don't get to have an adventure on the road and sleep on the road
I
or
like that.
something.
An adventure. The second hour of your #1 breakfast show is live with you. My name is Titi Layo Oyison.
Mike, Mexican is mine. You can stream with us live at tvcentertainment.tv on Facebook. It's at TVC Connect.
We also have an amazing app. Now, trust me, you need to download this for both Android or iOS. With this, you can watch us from anywhere on your mobile device.
Definitely, definitely. So let's get straight to it, By the way, I love this, your dress. It's your...
Serious? Thank you, thank you.
What's that, tassels? What do they call it?
Well, yeah, these are tassels.
Oh, I
but it's
got it. So I've started a fashion analysis.
Wow.
If you want anything about fashion, come anything, just get to me. Hit me up first. Tassel. So that's
say this thing I want to say.
that's a.
I don't want to say anything.
That's a tassel.
Yeah, peplum.
Purple.
This
Okay.
is a peplum side.
I was about
peplum
saying it now.
tassel.
Wait now. You don't allow me come.
I'm just trying to help you.
Okay. But then, hey, come on.
Okay,
Titi
what's
has
the color? What's the color?
The color.
The color.
To a man, a lady is different.
So what color is this?
A guy is seeing something, a lady is seeing something. We'll get to that. But then if you love good food, of course, Titi has something for you. Chronicles of a Foodie
Yes,
will
sir.
be up
Yes,
after
sir.
all of this.
Dr. Idibia Edward Nze.
Yes, of course. He's the Chief Dental Officer of Deseret International Hospital. And he'll be talking to us about braces, how to take care of your braces yourself. Because no dentist is allowed to check your mouth, except they are swabbing for tests.
Then we have Ademola Adedoyin, a talented Nollywood actor and model. He's going to be joining us for a chat very, very soon.
All right, you just saw it there. 6,400, over 6,400 cases confirmed. That's the clip you just saw there. So we do have to be careful.
There have been rumblings about, a full opening of the state and all that. And some people are more alarmed than relieved,
You see, I would say something. At the risk of getting maybe criticized by a lot of people, I feel like apart from what government can do, there's a lot that private individuals have to do. And this is where I'll come in with churches and mosques and leaders of industry and people that are influential. We need to get it's rising. We need to speak with one voice and understand exactly. You understand? We need to speak with one voice. It's not okay when health workers. I mean, some of this we have pastors or imams who are doctors.
True.
And some of them are risking their lives at this point in time. Some have passed on. We have health workers who have died. Let me if I say pastor, they have died taking care of people. I mean, that's the ultimate sacrifice. If you're a Christian, that's what Jesus did. I mean, giving your life, taking care of somebody. So we should ensure that we really do take care. We are cautious. Our personal hygiene should be taken seriously.
I do feel like Nigerians, well, Africans generally have this whole every man for himself kind of mentality.
Okay.
And I don't want to use the word selfish. I don't want to use the word self-centered, but I've just used them. Because some people are just not in contact with a health worker or with someone who is on the front line seeing it every day.
You're right. You see, if you do, you're right.
You would understand. And we're thankful and we're grateful that the number of deaths has not gone exponential as was anticipated before. But in places like the US and the UK, people are even scared to open their windows, talk less of walk outside their door. You know, Donald Trump, the fact that maybe they saw someone carried out of the house.
Exactly.
You know, because of this thing.
Donald Trump has been, the president of the United States, has been one of the most optimistic people when it comes to this issue. But then, even as optimistic as he is, the realities on the ground are different from the picture or the optimism that he might want to push out there. I mean, they are now the epicenter. The US is now the epicenter. I mean, of all things, you don't expect that the US will be #1 in this one. Yeah. So please do, let's do our best. As Africa, we know that...
you know, there's another factor, though. A lot of people have been finding it hard to go back to work because of the fact that there's no child care. So there was a time where you could just take your kid to the creche, or you could ask someone to come to your house and just help take care of your child. But now, you're afraid to even let anybody in your door. So one parent is staying home with the kids while one sort of goes back to work or sees what they can do.
Very true.
So not everything can just go back to normal like that. So there's still a lot of things. Yeah.
It will take some time.
Yeah.
It will take some time. But definitely what is not taking time is our news. Coming right up, Ibrahim is right here.
You're absolutely right, Mike. Welcome to the news. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control reported 226 new cases of coronavirus overnight, taking the country's total number of cases to 6,401. Lagos again recorded the highest number of cases with 131, followed by Ogun State with 25. Plateau has 15, Edo 11, Kaduna 7, Oyo 6. Abuja and Adamawa have 5 cases each. Jigawa, Ebonyi and Borno 4 each, Nasarawa 3, Bauchi and Gombe 2 cases each, while Enugu and Bayelsa have 1 case each. So far, 1,734 patients have been discharged, while the country has recorded 192 deaths. In outright disregard of President Muhammadu Buhari that those on essential duties are free to move, some overzealous police officers have mounted roadblocks around Lagos and impounding vehicles. A police officer who led the team in Alausa said she was acting on strict orders from above. Health workers and journalists with identification cards were all detained and their cars impounded by the officers. This story is the same across the state, as health workers have called TBC News to confirm if the directives by the president has changed. On the day he announced the curfew, President Muhammadu Buhari exempted the essential services.
There will be an overnight curfew from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. This means all movements will be prohibited during this period, except for essential services.
While the Presidential Task Force on Covid-19 earlier thanked health workers and the media who are frontline workers in the battle against coronavirus, TBC News crime correspondent Ivy Kano was at the Alausa police station, and the management was trying to reach the government officials for clarity. And the Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of zones says as the ban on interstate continues, his men would ensure the directives by the president is carried out to the latter. Reacting to complaint of reckless driving by some drivers, especially as they approach some land borders, the police boss says Nigerians must realize that the lives of security personnel are important as they carry out their statutory duties. He stressed that it's important that motorists are cautious and slow down as they approach checkpoints where his men are stationed, especially during this period of interstate travel ban.
To run down that is one of the most heinous crime. We cannot allow that to happen. For a policeman that is consciously who is carrying out his job to be put under any threat or intimidation, it will not be allowed. We will promptly invoke all the extant rules and regulations and laws of this nation to deal with that person or group, whoever is doing that, or individual.
Sometime last week, the Minister of Health told reporters not to question him anymore over the whereabouts of the Chinese that came into Nigeria last month. Nigerians have been asking questions about their whereabouts. Today, that question was answered by the Minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbesola, during the Presidential Task Force briefing on Covid-19 in Abuja.
They came in, 15 of them came in on the 8th of April. They came on a 30-day visa issued in Beijing. They are still here. And I know I need to tell you why they are here. They are still here, not because they've not completed their job, but because there is a restriction on travels in Nigeria occasioned by the protocol of COVID-19. I think that answers the question. I thank you.
And the World Health Organization has agreed to hold an inquiry into the global response to the coronavirus pandemic. Approved without objection by the WHO's 194-member assembly, the resolution also allows for an independent inquiry into the body's role before and during the pandemic. The resolution did not single out any individual country, but a number of nations, including the US, have accused Beijing of withholding information about the virus, which was first detected in the central Chinese city of Wuhan in late 2019. While Chinese President Xi Jinping yesterday says he supports calls for an investigation into the handling of the pandemic, but insists that any inquiry should wait until the virus is contained. And that's the news update for this hour. Stay tuned.
Our Lord is good all the time. All the time, our God is good. This time, we are going to talk to the one. Posterior chain, straight to the matter. Now we're going to be using an accumulator. If you don't know, I'll tell you how to turn it on. Straight to the matter first. We're going to be using the window. All of you have window. But no problem, you're going to create a window with your body. And what to do? Yes, this is the window. Come on. Keep squeezing those posterior chain. Almost go on. And I'm telling you, our boy. Our last single. Just keep squeezing. No item, no problem. Straight. Straight. You don't go to the other room. You have to go back to what? Room 1. What is room 1? Window. Keep squeezing. No item. Don't worry, we are quarantined in the house. There is room for us to come back also. Good. We are using that accumulator. Second. Ah, yes. Superhero. Oh my head. Batman is next. Batman. You see how those bats fly. Emma fly. Emma that will go vegetables. Because we have to strengthen the immune system. Come on, brother. We have to Spider-Man. It works. Window sends an accumulator. Accumulator things will create overload. When you create overload, your body will continue to work better. It's all about the fact that you have to keep squeezing. I'm wet. Straight to the matter. Proteins. Fly, you cannot take your leg. All the time, take your leg off. Squeeze the boy down, everything will be squeezed. All the backbones, squeeze them. Now still. Batman, go. Yes, now we're going to do I'm actually Spider-Man. No, yes, Spider-Man. Yes, you know the way Spider-Man they climb all those walls. Make sure you're squeezing it down. Interestingly, we're putting the lower body into an action again. So I can clean the lower body. Respire. We have to go to Superman. But unfortunately, because it is accumulator, I'm up at the window. Come on, this is the time. You pay so much attention to what NBCC are saying. Stay in your house if you don't have any business outside. And we pay window. Come on. Unfortunately, we have to go to back. Please goes in. Very easy to put fat. If you don't know, now you know. I keep watching along when it's damage or TV. This is still recombinant. With all those back muscles. With accumulator. We're going back. 9. But I saw this spider mantis. Squeeze those back muscles. Double. Squeeze it. That's it. Roller coaster. Superman. That's right. Come fly away. We are going to fly away. COVID-19, we must fly it away. Make sure you keep it on the practice. Come on, forward every day. Forward, keep pushing. Almost there. We're almost there. Finish up. Hold on, buddy. Let's finish everything. Finish up. It's going to be more 30 seconds. Follow me. Yes, it's time to follow me. Follow me with the party movement. Tiny things. You like to run outside. Run it up. Run it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down. Hand release. Down. Keep running. You are not washing your hand. You are causing problem for us. If you are not staying in one place, you are still causing problem. We are going to be looking for all those people who are still carrying coronavirus. We must get them treated. Healthy practice. Occupy. Occupy. Me, I'm not the way there. I am tired. Keep watching.
Adekunle Gold featuring Kiss Daniel there with jewelry. Amazing video. I'm liking the new look on Adekunle. The hair is, it's a different look. Never seen you like that before. Anyhow, there's something else that I was up to before the lockdown began, and that was my Foodie Chronicles. Now, if you've been watching the show closely, you probably have seen me go to a few places because I just like food. Some of the best restaurants around the country are yet to be visited. It might be your restaurant next. If you want the opportunity to be a part of that segment, you should reach out to us on our social media pages with the hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC. And let's see if your restaurant might be the next venue. You never know. Well, for now, look where I went on my last Chronicles of a Foodie. Yes, it's lunchtime at TVC, and you know what that means? That means it's time for me to take another trip on Chronicles of a Foodie. As always, I've been doing my research. I've been trying to find out the best places to eat in Nigeria, and I think I found one you would be very interested in. It's not too far away from here, but I hope you'll tag along for the ride. All right, as you can see, there's been a little bit of traffic, not too much, but we've been able to thankfully circumvent the route in Lagos to find the Collage Restaurant. So the Collage Restaurant is inside the Radisson Hotel, and it's along Isaac John in GRA in Ikeja. Now, someone told me that if you go to this particular restaurant, you're going to be there for a long time. Why? Because you're going to be eating and eating and eating some more. I hear the chef is such a friendly person that you just want to keep coming back to this restaurant. I also heard that the pictures of the food are going viral online these days. Well, we'll soon find out as we're almost there. Just a few more minutes and we'll be at our destination. Okay, so I did a quick search on Google about the Radisson Hotel and the Collage Restaurant in the hotel, and the array of food is mouth-watering. In fact, there was just so much to choose from. I don't even know what we're gonna see when we get there. I know that the chef has been informed that we'll be there soon and is going to be preparing something extra special just for us. I'm so glad you decided to follow us on today's journey. Once again, you're on Chronicles of a Foodie. We are here finally at the Collage restaurant in the Radisson Hotel in Ikeja. So what we have now is the opportunity to taste some of their really great food, meet the chef, and find out about these amazing facilities that they have. It's gonna be an interesting day. And I can't wait to taste the food. Let's go in, shall we? Okay, we're finally here, and it's a beautiful place if you ask me. All right, so I'm finally in the kitchen. I got my chef's hat on and we're about to start cooking. Chef Gaitan is here. Woo! Okay, so look at those ingredients. Wow. We have to get to work, people. We have to get to work.
We are making grilled giant prawns. So here's the prawns. Green pepper, tomato, hot chili, the Spanish, the spinach leaf, then lemon garnishing, all for the presentation of the plate. This is brandy for making the sauce. It's still up. So here we have the fried rice here, ready-made fried rice, and spider. It's made from spaghetti.
All right, chef, you look so set to get this done. I'm excited already and my stomach is rumbling. Hopefully it's not going to take too long, but I trust you. Chef Gaitan has got me covered. I'm going to go and have a drink while he gets to work. All right. Hi. What do we have here? Okay. All right. Thank you. Look at that. Wow. No way. Where do I start from? Okay.
Bon appétit, man.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. I've been busy, I know. The Collage restaurant at the Radisson Hotel in Ikeja is a place you should check out. The food is tasty, it gets here on time, the staff are very, very friendly and courteous, and it won't break your pocket or break the bank, so to speak. I've been having a blast here, and I know I'm gonna be back. Until next time, make sure you join us once again for another Chronicles of a Foodie.
Thank you for staying with us. Now, CMDA Nigeria is a network of Christian medical and dental practitioners registered with Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria. Now, the risk communication team have championed 2 social media campaigns, #GiveUp and #MaskUpNiger. Now, here to share more on this is Dr. Hani Ngalato. Hello, Dr. Ngalato.
Yeah, hello, good morning.
How are you doing, sir?
Very well, and you?
Yeah, I'm good, I'm very fine. I mean, I was still reeling from the shock of having some essential services, being stopped yesterday, but I hope you were not out. Were you out yesterday?
No, I wasn't.
Okay, good, you were in. All right, yeah. So the CMDA is coming up with 2 initiatives. Let's talk about it. What are the initiatives and what are they all about?
All right. So CMDA Nigeria, which is the Christian Medical and Dental Association of Nigeria, is coming up with a public health campaign, which is titled Give Hope Nigeria. We are a network of Christian medical doctors and dentists and students who believe that there is a need to create more awareness and enlightenment in the public about the current pandemic, which is COVID-19. We have discovered that there is a nexus between knowledge and fear, and once there is deficiency of knowledge in the public, there is a tendency for people to be driven towards fear. And that is why we are coming up with this public health campaign to tell people that there is hope, to tell people that all we just need to do is stay by the advisory and we are going to make it to the end. It is not a death sentence, it is not the end of life. We just want people to understand that there is hope at the end. Let us drive away all fears. Yes, you must have heard different issues about, different scares about the pandemic. Yesterday, we heard the Minister of Health telling us to prepare for the worst. Yes, we might likely want to prepare people for the worst. However, we want people to understand that it is not that bad. We just want people to take up all the advisories which they have been encouraged to do. And we believe that we will come over this very soon. So CMDA Nigeria is advocating for hope among the public and also educating the public on the necessary standards, necessary precautions that need to be taken to ensure the end of this pandemic even in our nation over here.
Wonderful. Now, something quite remarkable in your message there is the one of hope. But as it stands now, Mask Up Lagos is also something that you are doing. But we see a number of people who are probably influential that are not healthcare workers who go on record to give, theories or to say things that are not in consonance with what the medical professionals are saying at this point. You know, you see people saying things like, okay, the mask is harmful to health and all those kind of things. How does the CMDA hope, or how do you plan to go against this conflicting, views from people who are probably influential that people would also follow? How do you try to sensitize the public in amidst all of this?
So at this point, knowledge is key to taking decisions. We need to encourage people to take informed decisions, not just based on what they hear from different sources, but we want people to hear from the right sources. And that is why we are mobilizing, and that is why we are putting more efforts to ensure that everyone gets to understand the reason why the public health authorities are advocating for the mask. It's important for people to know that there's a lot of fake news going on. Recently the Secretary General of the United Nations made it clear that there's a lot of infodemic, there's a lot of fake news out there. But for us to drive fake news away, then we need to replace with the real news or the true news. And this has to be done as much as possible. So the CMDA Nigeria hopes to be able to address this by reaching out to influential TV stations like yours, flooding the social media, and then creating awareness materials, not just within the cities, but also in areas where that are resource constrained. So the CMDA Nigeria intends to do more of this in order to replace the fake news with real news so that people can take informed decisions and all together will drive coronavirus away.
Okay, wonderful, Doctor. Now let's get straight to masks. Let's talk about masks. We can't oversensitize the public. How and why and when should anybody use a mask?
It's very important because it has been, though the coronavirus is novel, but lots of knowledge is coming out from different crimes and different areas. Places like Taiwan have adopted the use of masks totally for everyone who is going out, and it has shown to be very, very efficacious to an extent. It is also believed, based on reviews, that adoption of the use of face masks could reduce community transmission by 60%. So it is important that masks be used. So we want to encourage people that you don't have to get the hospital mask, the surgical mask, but it is important that even if it's just a cloth mask you're able to afford, then that works because you are protecting others from yourself. Because coronavirus is asymptomatic, it can be asymptomatic. Yes, in 20% could be symptomatic, but 80% could actually go on without symptoms. So it is important for people to know that when I put on the mask, I protect you. When you put on the mask, you protect me. And if every other person puts on the mask, then we protect one another. This is how we break the cycle of transmission, and this is how we reduce the burden of the disease, and this is how we drive coronavirus back to where.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ongalato. I love your last statement. When I put on the mask, I protect you. When you put on, you protect me. All the best. Cheers in your campaign, and wishing you the best.
Yes, and the CMDA, just to mention the CMDA Hope line, the general population could call in CMDA Hope 0700 CMDA Hope 0700 263 This is a line dedicated to answer to the public and educate the public, enlighten the public, and give more information, and also direct the public on what needs to be done.
All right. Thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you very much, Doctor. I hope you're able to get that line.
Thank you very much.
All right. Okay, so, yeah, from all of that serious stuff, let's... Our journey of 1,000 miles, of course, it begins with a step.
Yeah.
It could end with a leap, a jump, you might take to flight, but then, hey, come on, whatever way, you could also end with a step. We are getting close to that time where the show has to wrap up. We have 45 minutes more of top-notch entertainment still to come. So, hey, come on, let's enjoy it before we get to the end.
Let's enjoy the final lap. This is the #1 premium family entertainment breakfast show on TV right now. Lifestyle, food, music, tech, celebrities, so much rolled into one.
Now, of course, stay indoors, but if you have to go out, observe the highest level of personal hygiene, social distancing rules, and all of that. I'm Mike Mexican.
And I'm Titi Layo Oyinson. Please use one of these two options. Stay right there with us, right there in front of your TV, or go online and stream the show live. tvcentertainment.tv is the website, and of course, facebook.com/TVC Connect.
Use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC to send comments to us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
Yeah. Now, there's so much happening. There's so much that's already happened. As long as you don't want to miss a thing, download the app so that you can catch us from Android or iOS. Any device you have, you can catch us wherever you are in the world.
Now, we have Home Makeover. We'll kick up a segment with Home Makeover. But hey, we've also had a compilation of funny videos earlier on.
But I didn't see you laugh that much, except for that last part.
Oh, the last one.
The last one.
Which one? Oh. Oh, yeah. That was fantabulous. All right, but Dr. Dibia Edward Nzei is the Chief Dental Officer, Deseret International Hospital, and he'll talk to us about how to take care of your braces this period.
Yes, sir. Very important. Teeth in general. Ademola Adedoyin is a talented Nollywood actor and model. He's going to be joining us for a chat very, very soon. All right.
So, a few things I just want to mention. There has been a statement from the IGP. Let me see if I can get it now immediately. Yes, I saw it. I think, yeah, I should get it now. There's a statement from the IGP. This is courtesy the DCP of Force Public Relations Officer of Force Headquarters, DCP Frank Mba, and it says COVID-19 enforcement of restriction orders. All essential workers, including medical personnel, firefighters, ambulance services, journalists, etc., are exempted from the restriction of movement associated with both the partial lockdown and the national curfew across the Federation. The Inspector General of Police, IGP Mohammed A. Adamu, has therefore directed all zonal assistant inspectors general of police and command commissioners of police to give effect to these exemptions whilst enforcing the restriction orders.
Okay.
Capiche? So that's done. That's done. At the same time, I was watching. I saw a part of something online, and I think it was your view where it called out. Someone called in. And I was like, why wasn't Mariah using a face mask and all of that?
Oh, okay. On screen.
See, look, you have to understand, for face mask, the first thing that you're told about is when you're going out in public. You have a set. We are 2. We are 3. This is not public. This is not public.
Or should we say general public?
No, it's not public. It's not public. Public. That's why public, when you look at it, the antonym is private. This is not public. You understand? So if you are going out into public and all of that, we're actually not even facing each other. That's even the next thing. Yeah. We're not facing each other. Yes, I could turn to her, but this is me facing here. She's facing somewhere else. So, and I mean, when I put it very right way, I mean, even internationally, where do you see, how many of them have you seen you talking through the face mask? If some decide to, that's okay. But doesn't mean that, don't just go about just want to tackle us anyhow.
There was even someone else that, in quotes, sort of asked Mariah on social media why she had a particular
no, that one was Slay Mama that does not have...
And I was talking in rubbish. Concerned because, I was concerned because what if it was her favorite bracelet? No, and she just really loves it. Like, I'm just like, so I can't wear my own favorite earring. So, okay, so I've worn this watch for the past 3 years, so I should change it.
That person was talking in the thing that is not making sense.
But you understand? No.
According to what the statement and all of that, let's be safe out there. When you're going out, like I said, plan your movement. 7:30 you should not catch you on the road. If you catch on the road, just be prepared for adventure. You will sleep. The way they do now.
I have to say, people sleeping on the road, I don't think anybody actually slept.
Talk for yourself. You would sleep. You would sleep.
I know.
Look, you just catch and load. I'll just sleep.
My eyes will be so wide awake.
So I don't think you've seen some people that, in the midst of cacophony and all of that, hula baloo, they will just sleep. Wow. And there's noise going on all around them, and they don't care. Wow. That's how it is for some people. You might not want to sleep, but there are some people that will just lie down in their car.
Even a moving vehicle is hard for me to even not of. I don't know.
Moving, they will even like let the vehicle enter in water, so they will sleep and sleep well. So if you look at yourself and feel like your house is not comfortable enough, and you want to have an adventure at night, and you want to sleep outside, just by 7:30, just enter a car and just stroll out to 10 Mainland Bridge. You will have wonderful adventure.
Okay, so obviously, there's still so much to talk about, but it's about time for us.
Ibrahim, have you ever had to, have an adventure outside at night or something in the car, sleep out or something?
Me, for where? I'm always indoors all the time. You can't find me anytime, anytime outside, anytime past 7, I don't go out, except I'm at the office.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what it is. But I love your directory, so if you really want to enjoy yourself tonight, just go out at that time that Mike had read to you.
Please don't. Please don't.
The Nigeria Center for Disease Control reported 226 new cases of coronavirus overnight, taking the country's total number of cases to 6,401. Excuse me. Lagos again recorded the highest number of cases with 131, followed by Ogun State with 25. Plateau has 15, Edo 11, Kaduna 7, Oyo 6. Abuja and Adamawa have 5 cases each. Jigawa, Ebonyi and Borno 4 each, Nasarawa 3, Bauchi and Gombe 2 cases each, while Enugu and Bayelsa have 1 case each. So far, 1,734 patients have been discharged, while the country has recorded 192 deaths. After a chaotic night for journalists and other essential workers in the hands of the police on Tuesday night in Lagos, the Inspector General of Police has reiterated that all essential service workers are exempted from movement restrictions associated with both the partial lockdown and the national curfew across the Federation. According to the IGP, Mohammed Adamu, these includes medical personnel, firefighters, ambulance services, journalists, etc. He has directed all zonal assistant inspectors general of police and command commissioners of police to give effect to these exemptions while enforcing the restriction orders. The Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of Zone 2 says as the ban on interstate continues, his men would ensure the directives by the President is carried out to the latter. Reacting to a complaint of reckless driving by some drivers, especially as they approach some land borders, the police boss says Nigerians must realize that the lives of security personnel are important as they carry out their statutory duties. He stressed that it's important that motorists are cautious and slow down as they approach checkpoints where his men are stationed, especially during this period of interstate travel ban. And sometime last week, the Minister of Health told reporters not to question him anymore over the whereabouts of the Chinese that came into Nigeria last month. Nigerians have been asking questions about their whereabouts, and then the question was answered by the Minister of Interior, Rauf Aribashola, during the Presidential Task Force briefing on Covid-19 in Abuja.
15 of them came in on the 8th of April. They came on a 30-day visa issued in Beijing. They are still here. And I know I need to tell you why they are here. They are still here, not because they've not completed their job, but because there is a restriction on travels in Nigeria occasioned by the protocol of COVID-19. I think that answers the question. I thank you.
Now, the World Health Organization has agreed to hold an inquiry into the global response to the coronavirus pandemic. Approved without objection by the WHO's 194-member assembly, this resolution also allows for an independent inquiry into the body's role before and during the pandemic. The resolution did not single out any individual country, but a number of nations, including the U.S., have accused Beijing of withholding information about the virus, which was first detected in the central Chinese city of Wuhan in late 2019. While Chinese President Xi Jinping yesterday says he supports calls for an investigation into the handling of the pandemic, but insists that any inquiry should wait until the coronavirus is contained. Global credit ratings agency Fitch Ratings says Nigeria's compliance with the oil production cut deal led by the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries will lead to deeper economic contraction and fiscal deficits. It also says that development would compound pressures on external finances as a result of the slump in oil prices. The ratings agency adds that Nigeria's foreign exchange reserves would fall to $23.3 billion by the end of this year. It insists the increased recourse to concessional multilateral loans would ease near-term liquidity pressures, but the risk of disruptive microeconomic adjustments would persist. Nigeria is expected to cut production by 417,000 barrels per day to 1.41 million barrels per day in May and June. And that's the news update for today on Wake Up Nigeria.
Yeah. I'm available. Oh, I remember Justin Bieber from like way back when, the young, cute Justin Bieber. So for me, I feel like his voice has kind of matured, but it's still there. That good old Justin Bieber voice, the vocal skill is still there. I like that. I like the fact that it's still there.
Is that all you like about Justin Bieber?
Yeah, kind of all at this point, because his lifestyle, not really interested. The tattoos, nah.
Yeah.
But
so that's all. That's all.
The music, that's what's important now.
The music.
Yeah, the music. Seriously, the music. It's all about the
music. All right, don't mind me there, of course, Justin Bieber. It's about, looking, when I think of people like Justin Bieber and all of that, how they seem like they're the ones at the top of, the ecosystem when it comes to music. I look back and I think of times when we had the MJ,
Michael
when we had the Princes, when we had the James Browns and all of that. And I feel like it's not there, but hey.
When they were in their A game.
But hey.
So it's different when you trend and there was no social media. That's another level of trending. So, with social media, everything is in their hands. So you can literally just type someone's name and find out what they're doing or where they are or whatever. But back then, you had to wait for a magazine or a newspaper. Or a TV set before you could see your favorite stars.
Okay.
So
now, like you said, there's social media. You don't have to wait to trend. You can trend easily now.
Yeah.
There's a hashtag at #1 in Nigeria, hashtag schools reopening, right? And we mentioned that earlier. Let's have your thoughts on what about school reopening. But this one is quite interesting from the Duke, 698, hashtag schools reopening. And this is schools management. Round off your courses because exams in 2 weeks' time. There's soon lecturers.
Those two lecturers.
Now this is
force feeding.
They are force feeding you lectures.
Oh my goodness. This is child abuse.
So
child abuse.
So you know that thing when where it happens. Okay, time for class.
Time for class.
You just resume and say 1 week for lecture, 1 week lecture free.
Yeah.
Exam straight. That's 2 weeks. Finish everything.
So there was that mindset that during all the ASU strikes and the like, that you are home and you are reading.
Exactly.
But people were home probably doing odd jobs, sleeping.
Exactly.
Loafing around.
Exactly.
And then suddenly you get back to school thinking, okay, they'll ease you into it. Next week is the exam.
Okay. See this one. This one is also very interesting at _Dembo. Me trying to remember the course I'm studying. Hashtag schools reopening. Can you actually forget your course? So wow. That's the one trying to remember the course I'm studying. It's really been a long break. It's been a long break. It's been a long break. And it's
been a stressful one too, because people have been afraid for their lives. Thinking about school is the last thing on your mind at that time.
Okay, see this one. Lecturer, what was our last topic? Everyone in the class. We shouldn't be laughing at this.
No, we shouldn't.
But it's just saying that look here. So a lecturer should not come and just your last topic. Like some people maybe went on a December break and they had not yet resumed when all of this started. I know around March that's when we know. But some people at times we can extend. How it is in universities. At times we just extend the break and all of that, and then you want to resume when. It's time for...
But really, school breaks are times where you can learn new skills. And that's actually one of the ways my husband got into radio, because he was tired of the strike. And then he just walked into the radio station and said, I just want to hang out here and see what's going on. And eventually became a broadcaster, because he studied chemical engineering. And
Wonderful.
He's a broadcaster today because he made that move.
That leap,
strike.
took that step. Okay, hashtag schools reopening, and Corona is out there waiting like this. This is Corona waiting for you.
With stone.
What is that? Okay, so but literally, is that should be wife? Is that mother? That can be mother. That can be mother. Mother cannot wait for you with that kind of story.
Are you sure? No, but I think this was a planned picture. So
but I know what this plan. What are they depicting? The mother, or what do you think? The mother or a wife?
I don't know. I can't really see the guy too clearly. If I could see the guy, a little clearer.
Be sure.
Yeah, just be
of
sure.
what it was this today. Okay. At Penuel Noel says, "Am I the only one who cannot remember my school registration number?" Okay, we can laugh at this one.
Yeah, that one they should flog
I'm
you
trying
for
to
that
remember
one.
your school
They should
registration
flog
number.
you for that one. That one.
Oh,
you can't
God.
forget that one.
I got it. Interesting stuff here people have on schools reopening. Okay, so...
Lecturer.
Okay, lecturer. So before the pandemic, we got to know that B stands for bag as well as book, right? And then me. I've seen this somewhere before. It's been so long, man. It's been so long.
Somewhere before.
I've seen this somewhere before. Yeah, B for book, B for bag. Where has this been? So it's the same thing. And you know, just like footballers had their own time when they said that for them to resume, they'll need some 2, 3, 4 weeks of preparation. You know, and it's about the same thing. You know, if you're the one who maybe allowed your mind to grow fallow, that means that you definitely would need some time to catch up to speed or come up with what you're doing. So hey.
And then okay, so if you give them an exam in what's happening on television now on all the online platforms, they'll probably pass that one. But what is happening in school is not really on anybody's mind right now. But that hashtag is really trending and really interesting stuff there as well.
You know, I feel like maybe when memes come out of church opening, that would be quite interesting also. Church and mosques opening. Wow, a lot of people will love to go back. And yeah, so it's a good thing.
I'm wondering what your back-to-school package will look like. You know, there's school bag, there's, you know, stationery, but now you have to put mask, you have to put hand sanitizer, medicated soap, you know, all those things have to go in that back-to-school package now.
I saw this picture of Wuhan in China where the students now wear, you know, the full visors and all of that. So they are there with the full visor. And like, I felt cool. I was like, okay, well, this is really quite some protection apart from gloves and everything, and then they're having a full visor, not just the mask. So there's the mask also, and then there's this.
I saw one of a little kid walking into the school gate. The teacher met him at the school gate, collected the bag, sanitized the bag. Then he went to like a hand sanitizing station. Right there, a little machine, you know, like a robot machine. His hands were sanitized. Then he went to another place, spun himself around, sanitized his whole body before being let into the school building. This is a big deal, you know? But I think that's all we have time for on social media.
Yeah, probably. There's also something trending. Kratos, Thanos. There's this battle online, Thanos versus Darkseid. For all of you comic book lovers and action film lovers, what do you think will win that battle? Thanos versus Darkseid. But hey, come on, I wish we could talk more about it, and we have to go now. We have a final guest when we come back. Thank you for staying with us. We have Ademola Adedoyin, who is a talented Nollywood actor, and of course, he's a model. He is popularly known for his roles in movies like King of Boys, Knockout Blessing, Oktoberfest, and Lara and the Beat.
Let's find out how life has been treating him during this pandemic. Good morning, Demola.
Good morning. How are you?
Only someone like Demola can come out of this pandemic looking this good. What is going on now? You don't even look like you're stressed out. You don't look like you haven't visited the barber. You're looking good. How far?
Is this
no,
looking...
well, I haven't visited the barber. I think that's obvious.
Definitely.
I haven't visited the barber in a while.
I was about asking, is this intentional? Because at times, you know, you can also do some barbing at home. A lot of my friends, we've learned how to shave ourselves and all of that. But hey, come on.
Yeah. I mean, I can. If I have a mirror in front of me, a mirror behind, and my clippers, I can do it. But I just haven't been bothered to.
All
like
right.
most of society.
So how have you been holding up? How have you been holding up this spirit?
Well, I've been holding up quite well. For the beginning of the lockdown, I was quite busy because I was in the editing stage of an advert I shot because I have a multimedia company on the side.
Okay.
When I say on the side, it's actually acting that's on the side because I had the company for much, much longer.
Okay.
Since way before I got into acting. And, I was also doing a website for a hotel. So I was quite busy towards the beginning. Things just started to slow down towards the end, of recent. We're getting to the end of the work, so things were a bit more relaxed. But the whole time, I was fully engaged with everything that's going on all the news and all the research, all the information coming out about the pandemic and everything.
A lot of people had to make a lot of changes once the pandemic started. You know, someone in the multimedia field like you, and of course as an actor as well, what sort of changes did you have to make as soon as the lockdown became a real thing?
Not many changes per se, because I've always been a bit, ever since I just learned the way money moves around the world, I'm just like, look, everything is too volatile for people to be doing only one thing. So for the longest time, I've been, you know, trying my hand at a lot of other things, real estate and all that. So the only adjustment I feel that is necessary for me to make is to let people know more about the other stuff that I'm doing.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Apart from that, I've been trying to keep myself busy, yeah.
So there have been calls. I know some of your colleagues, some actors came out to state that a number of directors and producers are trying to rush some actors back to work. You know, so maybe some contracts were signed and some people had to, you know, some shoots were cut short and all of that. So a number of producers and directors are trying to rush some actors back. And the actors are saying that, look, hey, come on, we are still in the phase where we've not fully flattened the curve yet. Do you think that we should be going back to shooting movies and all of that? Personally, what do you think about the movie industry? Should actors be going back, or should sets be open by this time?
Well, all of it is risky, you know, based on what we found out about the virus so far. And there's not enough testing. If there could be very serious testing done, I think there are certain risks you can take. If you can get the testing done and make sure everybody on set is not infected, make sure as much as possible that there are not too many people there, only essential staff. But at the moment, if you can't get testing done, if you can't take care of the welfare of your crew and everybody on set, it's too risky right now. That's the way I see it, you know. I don't know too much about the testing. They say the testing is very unreliable as at now. If we can get more reliable testing, I think it's possible to, because money is being held up, let's not deny that. But you can't put people's lives at risk because of that. You have to make sure that everybody's okay before you try anything.
All right, so you mentioned that you were working on some projects before the lockdown. What are the projects that you have in mind for as soon as it ends? What would you like to embark on?
Well, I've got plans to shoot my own films. So, I mean, all of that has been slowed down now. Everything has been slowed down. But basically trying to get pre-production going for my own projects and to just trying to keep my eyes open as to where the next opportunity can come from. It's okay to chase your dreams, but a lot of the time, chasing your dreams may not necessarily equate to, I'm fine, I can do only this and I'm okay financially. So, you know, you can chase your dreams and also make sure that there are multiple income streams in place. That's what I'm going to be looking out for, where the opportunities are. And how to diversify more than I'm doing now.
Wonderful. Now, King of Boys was one very big moment for maybe many people who didn't get to know you before. Now, King of Boys was like, you know, it was big. It was a big occasion, you know, and a number of people who are not used to Nollywood got to get in touch with you, maybe for the first time through King of Boys. Let's talk about your experience working on King of Boys, which is about one of the biggest movies ever to come out from the stables of Nollywood. What were your experiences working on set for King of Boys?
Wow, extremely professional set. You know, everybody just seemed like they were handpicked for their roles, for their departments, for the things they were set out to do. It was all very grueling. You know, it's a set that was always busy, very little delays. There's, you know, never a dull moment. And of course, we got to rehearse. We got a lot of time to rehearse, which is not always available. in our industry because of the economies of scale and the speed at which you have to move. You know, we move a lot faster than a lot of the other film, you know, economies in the world, India, America, you know, stuff like that. So I just found it to be a very uplifting experience. Also very educative, because if you want to know, you know, how filmmaking is done, Kemi Adetiba is definitely someone to watch. You know, if it's just about, okay, the only way we're going to learn about this thing is to just watch this person. You can't get any instructions or whatever. This is a very good person to watch. She's very inclusive, very encouraging, and very positive, in her mindset. So I just really enjoyed the whole experience, and I think it took every one of us that were involved to our individual next levels. Let me put it that way.
All right.
You know, incidentally, still talking about King of Boys, there's this, just at the AMVCAs, there's this trending, this trend went out that there was a boycott for King of Boys. We expected King of Boys to be there, to be nominated and pick up awards and all of that, a lot more and all of that. Personally, what do you think about that? Do you think that there was a boycott or there was something intentional that King of Boys should not? Because
how could that not be intentional? I don't know. I don't know the details. I don't know the details, but how could it not have been intentional? That, you know, a film that is critically acclaimed, that is, you know, that is that is doing the numbers or about to do the numbers, you know, that has all the hype behind it. Of course, you're not sure because, oh, you know, you shouldn't be sure about hype before you go and see something. You know, there was so much behind it. And, you know, one of the most prestigious bodies that is in the award space, in the recognition space, and not one mention, not one, no acknowledgement at all, you know, it was,
I agree with you, man. I smell a rat and a fish at the same time.
Yeah, man, I smell a lot of different things that are not alive.
Well, they did call it viewer's choice, though.
But does this do things like this?
You can't say it's not a viewer's choice movie, right?
Yeah,
you can't say that.
In fact, if I personally,
choice movie.
You know, Ademola, do you know I think if we're going by viewer's choice, as it should be, that should be like the #1 because, like you said, he made the numbers. Viewer's choice. Who watched it?
Yes, no.
It was viewers. So if I have a problem with viewer's choice, I would rather have something done with industry experts. But if it is going to be viewer's choice, then the ones that made the most numbers should be the ones that get the most awards. Okay. So I'm with you on that one, Demola. You know, so does that...
Not even the most numbers. Quality, hype, you know, the interest around the project is almost national as film interest goes. I know we don't have a huge film culture and all this. We don't have that many critic bodies and all that. But as far as film culture goes and exists in this country,
all right,
it was an event. It was the film event of the year. As far as I'm concerned.
Very true. Very true. Really.
Does it inspire you to do? What kind of feelings does that evoke in you? I mean, after something like that, what do you think about the industry? What feelings does it evoke in you?
I just think we need more of a film culture.
Okay.
We need situations where it's inevitable and irresistible and impossible to ignore that kind of thing, no matter how much you try, no matter how you feel, or no matter how many other films there are to promote. Something like that comes along, and every single recognition body must just say,
all right.
All right. Thank you so much.
Ademola doing here. Thank you so much for brightening up our screen today.
You know, Demola, just before we go, Tope is giving you a shout out.
Yeah, Tope is giving a shout out.
Your friend, Oloni, she should have been here, but she had to rush off on an emergency. She's giving a shout out. She says hi.
Yeah. Big shouts to her, man.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Demola. It was great talking to you. Thank you very much. Okay, so so that was really an issue. That
it was online for quite a while. But I know that Reminisce was nominated. That's for his role as Makanaki, I believe. And you know, so I saw that as a recognition, as a mention, you know. But then again, there might have been some other issues that
I might have some things to say about that. But hey, come on. Let's fish it.
Okay.
Right? That's all for today. Thank you very much for being a part of the show from the beginning up until the end. Your 1,000 steps has completed. You've got to the end, the final step.
Ours have at least started. Your day is about to start, and hopefully we helped you start it the right way. We'll be back again tomorrow, 6 a.m. tomorrow. Yeah. See you then.